Here it again. New week, new things to work on. Today we're not actually going to work on a specific project. Today we're going to showcase Katia's Builder Toolkit add-on. I've kind of peeked at it a few times off and on over the last week, but really haven't had a chance to sit down and get familiar with the controls. And I thought, well, why not learn right alongside you guys? I've heard a lot of good comments about the add-on. It not only sorts out some of the current bugs that we have in housing, but it makes a few types of building like elements, especially like stairs and stuff, a whole lot easier for those of us that are a little clumsy with those particular kinds of structures. So I'm hoping that by showcasing the add-on, kind of showing how it works to the best of my ability, and you know, if I can figure out how to do it, then anybody can, the way I look at it. But I figured it would be a good way to get the word out so that others that haven't heard about it can pick it up and see about using it, and maybe it will be somewhat of a time saver for those that do a lot of structures that include stairs and a lot of copy-paste kind of things, and that really is a big staple. So we're going to showcase some of the functionality of the toolkit. Again, for those that are watching via Twitch, I do have a link to her download page on curves.com. It's in the resources section of my Twitch channel page. So if you just click on that, it'll take you to it. Not feeling too well this morning, so if I have to suddenly go, that may be why, because I'm feeling a little nauseous at the moment. So just trying to kind of ignore my way through it because I'm just not feeling all that well. But I'm going to try and sneak in as much as I can before I have to go. Okay, so the first thing is getting the add-on to show up. And once you have installed it, all you have to do is type /Katia, and it's K-A-T-I-A, that's the name right there. And it'll pop up right on the side here. And you can see it's got a lot of buttons, and in the beginning it's a little confusing. I still am not quite comfortable in using all of the things, but I kind of am getting a better idea of what their function is. So the first thing is something I think a lot of people will find helpful is a lot of people have been asking for a way to just kind of copy an item that they have, but maybe say they only have one of those items and they want to have a bunch, rather than having to go to the housing vendor, buy it, which sometimes you can just place it directly, or sometimes you're given the option just to crate it. Then you have to go back to the crate, then you have to pull them out of the crate and blah blah blah. Well, it has a clone tool here, and what that does is it will either pull the item directly from your crate if you have multiples already in your crate, or it will purchase, if it's available on the housing vendor, it will purchase it directly from there. So I'm going to give an example of both. So I have the orange pillar already here, and you can see I've got quite a few of them. So it shows 14 here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can remember how to do this. I think you copy it first. Turn this advanced mode off. Easier to move around. And then you clone it. And you just and you can just repeatedly do that. And it keeps pulling them out, and you should see, yeah, that the count of my Addon pillars has gone down because it's pulling directly from the crate. Now, just putting this away. I've used this Addon floor because I found when I was playing around with some of the controls with this kind of goofy uneven surface, it was kind of messing it up a little bit, so I figured putting it on a flat surface up above would help, so that's why I'm on this platform here. Okay, so another example of how the clone tool works for if you don't have a bunch of them. Here I have only one Draken pillar, and it comes directly from the housing vendor. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the one down, and you'll see I don't have any more Draken pillars. Right? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll copy that one, and we're just going to move it to the side. And now we have two. And you just do that for however many you want, however many you need. And it just makes it a little easier to pull them out of the closet there. Now you'll see that I don't have any in the crate, but if I send them all to crate, I should have the 3. So it's basically just a quick way of pulling them out of your crate or buying them from the vendor without having to open the vendor window. And I think that will be an extreme time saver in those cases. So there we go, we got the 3 Draken pillars now. Okay, so the next little thing I think she showcased on her video, she does have a little how-to video, kind of a demo, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of repeating what she's done, but showing that, you know, little specifics, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a few of these Addon pillars, and I'm just going to place them down randomly here. Now, supposedly, one of the things that you can do, let's see, I'm going to just kind of line this up like so. And supposedly you can get like the center between 2 objects. So I'm going to see if I can get this one centered between these 2. If that makes sense. First I'm going to fix this here. I think I've got it crooked. Try that again. There we go, that's a little more straight. So see, you can see that this one's kind of off center there. So if I understand it right, you click the 1 and you copy it as 1, and then you click this one and you save it as 2. You copy that, and then this one you average it. No, that doesn't work. This is what I mean by not quite clear on it. Let's see. See, I don't know that part. It doesn't quite jive with me. I know there's a way, but maybe I'm not right here. Let's see. Well, let's try this other one. I know there's the one where you can have multiple versions of a copy, which I kind of showed there, but not clearly enough. Let's see. Let me just grab a bowl here. Not going to be as big as the dome thing that she had as an example, but from what I understand, you can copy the position of up to 3 objects, so that, I don't know, say you want to fashion like some homemade light poles or something, and you don't want to do them individually. You want to kind of do them at the same time, and you want to make sure you get all the parts kind of centered on the pole. So you would like make sure this one's set to 1, and this one set to 2, and this one set to 3. Maybe it goes past 3, but I haven't tried that. So first I'm going to try and move the bowl to the 1. So there's that. And then if I want to say, well, I don't want it on that one, I want it on the center one, then and you keep going. Oops, I copied it. Changed it. But you kind of see how that would work. I think when I did it earlier, if I sized the bowl up, when I went to move it to each one, I think it resizes it down to its original state. Either that or it matches it to the size that the pole is at. Probably the latter. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how the bowl sizes back down. So if you're wanting to make, say, something and then have it like adjusting the size of it, you would probably want to do that after you've centered it up on the pole, however you want to do it, you know. Like so. Maybe you're doing some elevated bird nests or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's that. Okay, see what's one of the other things. I know there's a dshift thing where, let me just move it off. Where say you have two floor pieces, and let's see. Really not feeling good. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste, and you can see that it's not quite really on top of the, I mean, exactly same position, it's slightly below it. And that's pretty annoying for those that are, you know, trying to set up walls to have, you know, nice straight and floors that are nice and level. Some of you may have remembered me having to make adjustments, constantly figuring out, okay, what coordinate was this at so I can match it exactly with this one. Well, Katia's add-on does that for you. I think it's the dshift, yeah. See, it just automatically pops it in correctly, and then you just slide it across as you need. Hey, Pawn, yeah, long time. Been kind of hit and miss with me the last week or so. Glad you can make it though. So that's a really handy tool with the dshift, just to kind of get rid of that little offset that's auto put in. Now, from what I understand, I think I read somewhere that one of the housing developers said that there is a fix coming to sort out the shift. And I'm sure there's other issues that they're looking to address. But in the meantime, Katia's add-on really puts a lot of that to rest without a lot of hassle. Okay, now aside from the clone tool, which is probably one of the top favorite parts of this add-on for me, is the difference tool. And this is the one you would use for like stairs. Let me just pull one of these out here. And basically the way I did it, and it kind of made sense to me, was first you get your first step set up. Get it rotated the way you want, and line it up however you want to fix it. And I think the way she did it, and I don't know if I would probably do this always because I'll forget how many I've put here, but the way I think she did it was copied the one that she had originally placed down, and then she just cloned. Okay, now it's saying unable to place decor, so I don't know if this is going to work right. Try this again. I think when I was doing it earlier, it kept wanting to paste the clone this way, and with me standing there, it kept saying, no, you don't have permission to do. Okay, now it's saying it's not giving me an error, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, the cloning, it's not actually buying new ones, it should be just pulling them from the amount that I already have set out, supposedly. So then what she said in her demo was that you have to first save, it's kind of like saving the beginning and the ending of the change that you're wanting to duplicate. So you select your base item and you set that on 1 and you copy it, and then you make the changes to it. So I'm going to lift it up a bit, and I'm going to rotate it however much I want. And then switch that to 2, and you copy that and then just place it. Now, if I did it right, fingers crossed, take the next duplicate that's down here, and you just, well, first you switch this to, you want to go up from the first copy to the second copy. You have to make it from 1 to 2. And then you select the one you want to do that with, and then you hit the difference, and it just pops it right up. So it basically matches the turn that you made and the elevation. And then you just leave that be. And then this one, you might have to hit it 3 times to get it to go up all the way up. And it just keeps repeating. It's a very quick and handy way of making your own staircases. You can do this with floors, you know, anything. This is just, she used pillars, so I'm using pillars. And there you go, you have a staircase, nice little smooth staircase. That way you don't have to worry about, you know, did I get the gapping exactly the same, that kind of thing. But it's a really handy way for someone to build a spiral staircase, or some other kind of design that they want to fashion. I think there was also like the hoverboard pieces. You can use a combination of the, well, I think it's the dshift, and then just rotating it around to make a full circle. But you could probably do the same with this. I don't know if there's a way to get it to work with multiple pieces, so you'd probably have to just, you know, say you had some way that you made like a red carpet lining. I've seen people use carpets and Tua pillows. They'll like embed them into to kind of make it look like a red lined carpet. You would just have to set up the first one and then offset it the same way you did the original stairs. I don't think you can do both at the same time. I don't think it links. That kind of thing. But other than the average one that I still haven't gotten the hang of, I think this is a really well thought out, useful housing tool for those that do a lot of building, especially structure wise, with the floors and the walls and stairs. This is a heaven sent kind of add-on to be using. You just have to remember to know what you're using here, what's set up. Looks like you can go quite a ways up, so not just limited to 3 like I was assuming. That's just the number she arbitrarily picked. I assume you could probably choose to copy just certain aspects of it, like the rotation or the size, that kind of thing. I tend to not mess with that too much. Confusing. But there you go. The only other thing that I didn't show was the chairs. Let me see if I have any chairs. Get some cheap ones. See, I could just clone it out and it would work it, but since I'm not. So supposedly, if you go to try and use these, well, see, I'm fitting in them properly. Just wants to let me use the one. That's the thing that most often happens with me. They just become non-functional. I don't know if this add-on actually fixes that. The thing that the add-on shows that it does is, like, say your character goes to sit in it and they're sitting in it backwards, facing the wrong way, then you just hop off of it and say fix chairs, and it sorts them so that they sit all in the same pot. Well, it looks like it fixes the non-functional a bit too, so that's a plus. Now I can sit on all 3 rather than having only the one. I don't know if used to, when I had problems with the chairs, it was usually because I was in edit mode, and when I went out of edit mode, it acted like it didn't register that I'd gone out of edit mode, and you'd have to do like a reload UI, and then that would kind of fix it. But having the fix chairs feature just makes it fix it, and that goes. Now, I don't know, I assume it means that it works for anybody that happens to be in your plot at the time that you fix them. I don't know, because I've gone into other homes before and like have the doors not working where you can't open them. And same with some of the chair functionality. I don't know if having the toolkit on someone else's plot and using it there will actually fix that. That would be something to check out, but the frequency of that happening is pretty small, so usually just leaving the property and then going back excuse me, will solve that. Not always though. Excuse me, having a bad day. So yeah, that's just a quick kind of redo of Katia's a demo that she did to show off the little tips and tricks for her add-on. And I hope by showing this, it will get, encourage other builders to give it a try, because I guarantee you I will be using it for definitely the cloning properties, because that's a heck of a lot handier than having to open the vendor and then open the... I'm sorry, if you hear a lot of noise, I forgot to close my windows, so the tractors going by are a little louder. I'm a little out of sorts this morning, so it's kind of, I forgot a bunch of things. And anyway, I definitely would be using the clone tool quite a bit, and probably in instances where I want to build some stairs, I will definitely give the difference tool a good run for its money as well. Because I had a lot of extras there. See, that's what I mean by I don't know if I want to copy it right there, because I would end up leaving, multiples there and not even knowing. Because if you notice, they weren't flickering even though they were overlapped exactly, so little misleading. So that's Katia's builder toolkit. Again, I think it's kind of beta stage, sort of. She's got a lot of new things that she wants to add into it, or functionality to include. But just the basics that she has right here, she said she wanted to get it out to us builders ASAP, so she's just kind of pushed it through. But if you have any suggestions of other quirky bugs or things that you feel like she could include in the add-on, I'm sure she would love the extra feedback and suggestions and such. There's no guarantee that she'll be able to do everything that everyone suggests, but there's no harm in asking. Again, you can find the link to her add-on on my Twitch channel page. It's in the resources section, along with a bunch of other helpful sites. Speaking of helpful sites, I have been promoting Living in WildStar, the website. It's kind of like a database. It has preview images and of both decor and fab kits and housing remodeling options. It's been kind of dormant for about a year now, but the last, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks, Wilson has been back actively updating. And while he hasn't given a new news article on there to kind of mention what's been going on, those of you that might have been visiting in the past week or so will likely have noticed that there's been a lot of database changes. One of the most notable bits is the thumbnail screenshots before had a bluish kind of gradiated background, and I think that was from back in beta. I'm not sure when it changed, but the previews now in game are a solid black background. And when he went to update, start working on the update to get caught up with things that he's missed over the year, he realized that it didn't match the old pictures. But for those of you that have been keeping up with what's been going on in the last weeks, you'll notice that he's updated all of the old pictures. So he likes that consistency. He didn't want to have some of them with the blue and some with the black, so he's got them all with the black images. And of course, he's done his best to get all of the nice large pictures where he can, and rotating things so that they're visible rather than trying to give him the best preview he can. I think there was like, I don't know, 1,300 or 1,100 or something in the database, and now there's like 1,800 and something. So he's added quite a few. He's done all of the new hover park pieces. He's added all of the new Technophage stuff, and the new fab kits and things. And he's talking about adding some new sections. I do know that for like the building blocks category, he split it off. He's got just the regular building blocks, and then he split off the specific race. Like, so there's a building blocks Oran, building blocks Granok, building blocks Cassian, you know, it's all split off. Just to kind of make it easier for people to search it up. And while there are still some items that lack like information as far as where they can be obtained, that will be coming in the days and weeks to come. Same goes for just lost my train of thought. Same goes for I am a complete blank right now. I don't know what I was gonna say. I will note that he's updated the members directory that is on there for anyone that wants to join the site and actually contribute to the site by offering screenshots or information about how you obtain certain items, things like that. For myself, I came into a little bit of an issue because I was already registered with the site, but I can't update my profile listing. So I've already contacted him about that because I'm sure if I'm having a problem, someone else might be too. So there may be some quirks. And I noticed that, like, for the entity listings, there's a lot of people that appear to be in like European countries. Like I've seen some in Sweden and such like that listed in the entity section. And while that's possible, I guess, it's probably a little mess up between, because remember we had the multiple server listings. You know, we had Evandra and Aureus or whatever you call it, and just, you know, umpteens for EU and umpteen ones for NA. And now that he's converged them all, I think it might have been a better idea just to purge the members that were already there and just have them re-register. But for those that were already registered, there's some inconsistency as to where they should be actually at now. We've got some that look like they probably belong on Jabbit rather than Entity, and vice versa. But I'm sure all of that will be ironed out as the days go on. Hey, Cowboy. Let me think. Is there anything else? As far as the CBDC, I think the last day for folks to get their entries in is this Thursday. And then we have a week of voting before we start the next one. So again, I'm just considering mine done. I'm not gonna work on it any further. I've already submitted it in the guild forum and left it as is. There's 2 others that I know of that have created their entries, and probably not this week but next Wednesday, when we do the exile tours, I'll probably do a quick tour of the entries for July's CBDC, just to kind of showcase it. I usually try to make a little mini video with no commentary or anything, but the program that I use apparently isn't working anymore, so I'm gonna have to either get myself a new one or figure out what's causing issues with the one I was using. Morales Action, I think it was, and it's just stopped working. So it's usually I do like a little video tour here, but I don't actually save this one, I just save the other one. But it's not working for me anymore, so I don't know what the deal is. Need some drink. But so far there's just the 3 entries, which is a little disappointing, but I know this particular theme was a little on the tough side. I don't think a lot of people were all that inspired. I thought it was a great idea for trying to build something to commemorate the guild's anniversary, but again, sometimes it's the simpler kind of themes that have a bigger outpouring of interest. So I don't know. I'm already trying to think of what we can do for next month. As it is, let's see, that'll be August. Kind of in most, well, in a lot of places, it'll be the last month of summer before school starts. So maybe some kind of a summer theme of some sort. I'm not sure. Maybe invite them to make their own swimming pool or something. You know, aside from using just the kiddie pool fab kit or something. You know, just make their own. I don't know if that's going to be feasible for everybody, but you know, it might be something interesting for them to try. Because there's quite a few items that you can use for water these days. Especially now that we have the glass, you can get away with a lot. You know, it won't be the type that you can actually sink into, you know, because the water, to me, acts more like ice. It's like solid. But still, if you can get it to look like a little pool, then that might be kind of fun. So that's an idea. If anyone has any suggestions for CBDC themes for us to try out, I would be more than happy to jot them down and possibly use them. Usually I try to pick a theme that's not too specific, but specific, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to say everybody has to build a horse. I would say everybody has to build an animal. I think I would probably even be a little bit tighter and say land-based. We've done the aquatic versions. We've done yeah, I think we've done aquatic versions, and then we've just done land-based, where I said, you know, it'd be one that would mostly live and walk on the ground, or something like that. Same way with vehicles. We've done land-based vehicles. We haven't done any like air-based, like planes, helicopters, that kind of thing. That would be a possible option as well. But for summer theme, I'm thinking either inviting them to build a swimming pool of their own. I'm not sure. But again, if you have any suggestions, it doesn't have to be summer themed, but if you have any suggestions of possible themes that we could work on in the coming months, that would be very welcome, very helpful. I've got some jotted down somewhere, but again, my desk is a mess. I've been working on another project. I like to do little guilds things, and for next month we're going to be doing a little bingo game every Saturday, so I've been making that up. So I got glue and papers and Velcro sticks everywhere. It's a mess. Probably a good thing you guys can't see my desk, because it's an awful thing. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. I know it's a short thing, and while I am kind of feeling a little better, the distraction of the housing has kind of calmed my stomach a bit. I'm still not 100%. But again, this one was just mostly to showcase Katia's Builder Toolkit. Again, you can find the link on my Twitch channel page in the resources section. There's many other links there, but I think hers is towards the bottom. There is another add-on that a dev made I think it's called the housing management something or other. I've never used it myself because even at the time that it was released, it had a lot of bugs, and it was kind of iffy when it worked or didn't work, and I didn't want to risk some of my projects trying to play around with it. As far as I know, it is pretty much outdated and not being updated at all. I don't think the dev that put it together has just had the time to work on it. And then there's a third add-on that has to do with keybinds, where I think it's allows you to set up specific keybinds for like the copy paste functions and things like that. That's another one I have not tried. I haven't really heard too many people talking about it, so I'm not sure if it's just not a necessary thing. Maybe people find it too clumsy. I don't know. But I think you can find all three, probably just looking in the housing section on curse.com in the WildStar section. But definitely Katia is a thumbs up from me. While I may not use all of the functionality that her add-on provides, the cloning tool is super excellent because not only can you clone an item from stuff that you already have in your crate, say you have 50 pillars, you can just sit there and say clone, 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 and it'll just pull it from your crate. But if it's an item that you can purchase directly from the housing vendor, you can just clone it straight from there, and even if you don't have extras in your crate, it will buy it for you and put it out. The only thing that you might want to be careful about is if it's an item that costs a renown or a large amount of gold. Be careful on those because you may be spending more than you realize if you're not sure about how much it costs you in the first place. So always double check that, because I'm sure if you're cloning something that costs 25,000 renown and you suddenly are out of renown, it will probably give you an error to let you know, hey, you can do that. But you might not have wanted to spend that amount. So double check before you go cloning anything straight from the vendor. Make sure you know what you're purchasing and for what cost. That would be my only warning on that. And then of course the difference tool, the one that allows you to more easily set up the staircase. It's just you have to remember to save where it is, and then you move it, and then you save it where you moved it to. So it's kind of like remembering the start and the finish, and then you can just, you know, repeat that for the next ones, and it builds it for you, and it's really, really, really handy. So thank you to Katia for that. And hopefully anyone that sees this video will be encouraged to give it a try. The only one I didn't figure out was the average, but I'm sure, you know, if you look at her demo video, she's got an example for each functionality that she's currently got in there. So you'll probably be able to figure it out better than I am. I'm just kind of scatterbrained when it comes to a lot of that. It's probably why I won't use it for everything. But when and where I feel like, at least for me and how I use tools, where it will be most beneficial, I definitely will make use of her toolkit here. As far as tomorrow, I don't have anything specific planned. We may just do something a little different, and I don't know. I really haven't given it much thought, but I'll come up with something specific that we can do. Try and keep it housing related, but no promises. And of course, Wednesday is the housing tours. That will be for, I think it's Dominion's turn. I know at least one home we will be revisiting from last time over there, because the owner contacted me and said that he had, or they had redone it or finished it up. I think it was the news station that I visited. it kind of indicated that it probably wasn't done, but that I thought it was too cool of a theme to pass up. So they've requested that I revisit, but they've done a lot of changes, so I'm going to be doing that at their request. But I will be, I do already have another list somewhere here, buried on my desk, of some new houses that we will be visiting on Dominion side. So that's Wednesday, 1 p.m. CET time. And then again, I'll figure out something for tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Either I'm going to just make up something to build. Maybe I'll do a little treehouse or something. I don't know. Just to kind of keep us occupied until the next big project. I'm still considering scrapping my mains plot, the one that has the miniature golf course and the subway station. But I haven't quite finalized what I might want to do. I know what I kind of want to do upstairs, you know, on the above ground, but I'm not sure how I want to fit in the hatch house. So once I get that sorted, I may go ahead and decide to create it all and start from scratch and spend a month or two working on a new project. But until then, I will find things to, hey Cryo, what, you don't want me to tear it down? That's just how it goes. I'm not one to do a lot of alts. I know a lot of people, they'll say, well, I want to leave that project alone, and they'll just make a new alt and level it up, and then they have, but you only have so many spaces for that, and I love building too much to keep one theme for forever. So this will probably be like the 6th or 7th time I've created everything on my mains, so it's nothing new for me. It's just one of those deals, and it's kind of, you know, it's sad, but it's exciting too, because you're getting ready to embark on a new project. Hey Spider. You know, it's like I've looked at some of the projects I did like way back in beta. Yeah, well, yeah, it did take hours to build. I think I spent probably a month working on it in total. But I don't know, it's not that horrific of a deal for me, because I have videos of it, screenshots of it. I have lots of keepsakes. Hey Samson, wow, there's a lot of people popping in. It's one of those things where, like I said, I've looked at some of the projects I did way back in beta, and it's like, those are so awful looking. It's not that I've gotten better, but I've learned a lot of tricks along the way that has, I don't know, made things a little bit more interesting as I've progressed in practicing with the housing. In the beginning, I think I did a lot of I didn't do as much custom building as I do now. And I think that makes a big difference. Starting to get that little laggy thing going on. I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna see if going out of the housing thing altogether will change that. Just pop out into the town. But like I said, I take lots of videos and I take lots of screenshots, and I just consider that kind of like my keepsakes. Honestly, Spider, I have no idea if they are going to bring it to console or not. I wouldn't say they never will, because it's kind of one of those things, you never say never, but I don't know the logistics of that kind of move, if it's even possible. I really couldn't say. I haven't heard any talk of it. Not that they would really tell us. Yeah, that seemed to kind of clear it up. See how it's not jumpy anymore? So that's the solution for that. If you have that kind of laggy issues, just pop out and pop back in. But again, right now I think they're concentrating on the free-to-play transition, so that I doubt that's going to be anything coming soon. They got to get everything else kind of settled and ironed out first, I think, before they go to other platforms. That would be my guess. I don't know. It may not be anything they're even considering, but if they were, I don't think it will be anytime soon. Feels like I got like ate a hair or something. I don't know what. Well, I don't know. It probably depends on how they set it up. You know, I don't know how that would work. Yeah, sometimes it feels like it is. For me, I think it's just there's probably a lot of refinement that they could do, even for the mouse controls, because sometimes that even feels clumsy and not completely reliable, which is why Katia has, even had to bother making an add-on that corrects some of those issues or makes them easier, because you would think that we would already have a cloning process in game, but instead we don't, so someone's come up with a way to do that themselves. And so, it could be they take bits of her toolkit later and actually incorporates into the base game, which would be nice. But maybe they leave it that way so that, those that are making the add-ons can do it for them. I don't know. I know they work pretty close in tandem with the add-on writers and stuff, authors or what they're called. But yeah, as we're coming into our end of the summer kind of thing, I will be going to see. I've got Turnip's place. I don't plan on tearing Turnip's house down anytime soon, but I do have some decor space available. Let me turn this off. And I wanted to kind of show how you can take your existing home, and if you have a little bit of room, to kind of decorate it for the seasons. So as Shades Eve starts to approach, or Halloween kind of thing, then I would like to maybe add some pumpkins or some kind of little Halloween decoration. Yeah, it is, Samson. That was what I showcased earlier this morning, was showing how to use it. The only thing I didn't get the hang of was the average button. Supposedly you can have 2 or 3 items, and if you want an item to kind of be centered between the 2 or something, you should be able to get it to land in the middle. I couldn't get it to work. So, but that was just from a quick review of her demo this morning. I was looking at it. I thought, okay, I think I can do this, and I got most of it kind of all right. But it's one of those things that you just kind of have to get the hang of. With any new tool, there's a little bit of a learning curve. Not that I know of, Cryo, but it could be something you could suggest to her. Usually what resolves that is, typically that's, wait, let me get on salaries. Typically that's resolved by changing how you're manipulating the item. And let me show you what I'm talking about there. So say you have these pillars. If you'll notice, in the advanced mode, you can move it by object or by world. Typically, if you're moving it by world, it will twirl it. It'll skew it up. So let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna move this over, and there's no guarantee it's gonna work because it doesn't always do that. But I'm gonna try and move it to world and see if it changes. No, it doesn't. But usually if you can switch it between object and world, it resolves it. I think sometimes it depends on, I don't know what causes it really. It might just be I picked the wrong item to give as an example. But I know what you're talking about. I've had it happen a lot, especially when I'm building live, it'll do that. And usually it's because I have it, the advanced mode set to world adjustments, positioning, or whatever you want to call it. And if you set it to object, it should resolve it. It's just dependent upon, like, sometimes it's easier to move it one way or the other. It's like this one, if I wanted to move it straight at the angle, moving it with object is better. But if I wanted to move this while it's still turned and move it this way, moving it via the world version is better. But yeah, it's just a little squirrely. I don't think her add-on fixes any of that, but again, like I said, that would be something you could suggest. She does have a comment section on her curse.com page where you can download the add-on, and I'm sure she'd love to have feedback of things that you could suggest to her. Hey, can you do something to fix this or do something to fix that? I can't really think of anything, a really big bug aside from that, because again, a lot of it as well is those that have the hatch house, they tend to have most of these repositioning and squirrely behavior of their items more than anybody else. Supposedly Carbine fixed a lot of that. I don't know if it's like some kind of invisible barrier that we don't see that's over the hatch house spot, but like you can like be moving something, say this is the hatch house, you can like be moving something like here, and all of a sudden it like jumps way over here because it doesn't want to land right next to it, and you have to like manually move it back. And supposedly they fixed most of that, but I think when they fixed some, they kind of made some new ones. And that little twirly gig when it does it, and in different kinds of object modes, I think that's one of them. Because I didn't notice it before the last big patch, and then after that it kind of seemed to really be a problem. But yeah, hers is definitely a very welcome add-on, and one I would recommend everybody checking out and giving it a try. Especially for the two main things. The chair issue isn't always a big thing for me, because I think probably because a lot of times I don't use chairs necessarily in the way that they're meant to be, especially like the benches. But for those that do a lot of role play and expect a lot of people to be coming in, maybe that would be a helpful thing. Again, I don't know if the chair fix just fixes it for you or fixes it for the plot, and anybody that happens to be on the plot at the time can benefit. I'm not sure about that. But definitely the stair building tool, the one for the difference, and the cloning tool. Well worth the download, even if you don't use anything else per add-on. Trying to think what else. Like I said, I know she's supposed to be adding some other functionality to it. I don't think she gave any specifics as to what those might be, so it could be maybe she's looking into fixing the little twirly gig thing. I don't know, she may include some kind of way of sorting out that flickering overlap effect, you know, where she's got the one tool that removes the difference, the offset. Maybe she has one that allows you to automatically offset by like 0.01 just to get rid of the flashy bit so that you don't have to sit there and manually move it. I don't know. That could be something someone could suggest as well. The only other things, well, I really can't think of any other bugs, really big ones that are troublesome. Because I know a lot of people get fussy about the teleporter pad, but that's really not a bug. It's just people wanting to modify it and not able to because of the border around it. But I know there's some that have discovered ways to get past that. But typically I just leave it as is. I think eventually they may relent and at least give us some remodel options like they do with the house. I think that would satisfy a lot of people, so they didn't have to have this metal look. Maybe they could change the way the billboard looks, or even change the race of the vendor here. You know, so if someone's got an Orin themed plot, they can add an Orin kind of vendor or something. Or maybe just have the option to remove that, not have it on their house. I don't know. But same way with the little hollow crypt here. I think people would just love to have more flexibility, not only in remodel options, but where they are located. You know, maybe not everybody wants to have their main house right center. You know, maybe someone wants it in the corner or more towards the back and have this whole area act as their front yard. You know, something like that. Or have their teleporter come in a different corner, or you know, somewhere. So a lot of things they can add, and I'm sure they're going to eventually. One of the things I'm really anxious to see how it looks on the PTR once that gets around is the neighborhoods, how they're going to work. There's been a lot of speculation and guessing as to how the combined plots are going to be fitted together, if they're going to be like flush with one another, if it's going to be like physical bridges that you can walk across. I don't think they'll do teleporters to each one, because I mean we already have that. It's already kind of a disconnect. But to have them actually physically connected, that would be interesting. And there's, you know, discussion as to whether or not those will have like a, does the core count limit I have on this plot apply to the combined plots, or is that separate? You know, how does it work when someone, you know, say we have the plots right up against each other, is there going to be a way to make the transition smooth so it doesn't, you know, have this funny barrier here lined up twice, you know? And how does that affect the decor counts? I mean, will there be some kind of a building barrier? You know, it might be where you can't overlap the two to make it solid. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but and like the communal plot that I guess is the center of the 5. How, you know, how does that work? Do we have to contribute from our personal decor count limits to build here, or does it have its own? How does the crate work? You know, does everybody that has building access have access to that? How does it work? Like if you're on your plot but you want to put something in the communal plot's crate, how does it know which to put it in? Is there like some kind of a drop down option saying I want this to go to that crate? Or do you have to be actually physically standing on the communal plot to get it to go to that one's crate? And if they're going to do that, then they might as well do that for, you know, unconnected plots, like for your, you know, how helpful would it be to be able to have, like, say, an item in my inventory here, I'm standing on my alts plot and just crate it from my bag to her crate directly, rather than having to mail it to her and then have her crate it and then come back onto my main to manipulate it, if that makes sense. So, you know, there's a lot of things still left up in the air. Been trying to be patient, waiting for them to bring out the deep dives that will cover some of this information, but it's hard to be patient when you know it's coming and you want it to be here right now. So it's just like I'm anxious to see just what kind of things they're going to have available on the cash shop, how that may or may not affect, like, say, decor storage. If decor count placed increases, will that only be available on the cash shop, or is there going to be ways that we can get it to either the loyalty program or through rep gains or whatever? It would be pretty devastating to me if it's only available through the cash shop, because while I am a supporter of WildStar and I do have a subscription and I plan to be a what they call a signature player when free-to-play comes out, I don't necessarily want to constantly be shelling out extra money just to make the functionality and the quality of life on the housing plots be better. You know, I want to have the opportunity to do that through other means possible. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, they still got to line out, you know, exactly what their plans are for the loyalty program. You know, how difficult that's going to be. I know even free players will have an ability to obtain some of those, not the Omnibits, but or maybe it is Omnibit. One of the in-game currency that you can use in exchange for some of that. But, you know, we don't know how quickly a rate or how rare those will be, if they're tradable or if they're soulbound when you pick them up. I know they did ask one of the questions I had about the cash shop, whether or not you can gift items that you purchase off of there, which apparently you will be able to. So that's a good thing for me, because like I said earlier, I do a few activities for my guild, like the CBDC. It would be nice to be able to say, hey, we're going to add a prize for that, and what I'll do is say, you know, maybe there's a nifty housing decor item that's on the cash shop, and I could say, well, for a special occasion, I'm going to purchase this and gift it to whoever, you know, wins the vote or whatever kind of thing as a prize. And that would be nice. I think a lot of people will be utilizing that feature. Anywho, again, I think that's all for today. Mostly I've just did a lot of talking, so apologies for that for those that tune in for the housing stuff. One last little promotion for Katia's builder toolkit. Definitely, if you're one to build stairs, do a lot of floor work, wall work, fencing, things that you have repetition and you're lining it up and you're wanting to get it just so, or you're looking for how to I don't know, there's probably lots of other instances where you would use it, but Katia's builder toolkit is a definite must-have, I think. The clone tool I find to be super handy. It allows you to Oh, that's good news, Samson. Samson says he's about done with the moon base. I'll have to take a look at that. If that's the case, then maybe next week I can give it a tour. It's definitely would want to do that. Anyway, the clone tool for me is like number one, and the differences would be the number two. The top two abilities for the toolkit. The clone, because rather than going to the vendor and buying and then go back to the crate and put it down, you can just copy something and say just clone it, clone it, clone it, clone it, and it'll either pull it from your crate. If you have it, it will do that first. If you don't have it, it will buy it straight from the vendor. Anyway, and then the difference is good for the stairs, especially the spiral stairs, because I've always had trouble with those, especially trying to get the gap and the spacing right. So that will be a very handy way of building that up and not having to worry too much about it. Again, you can find the link to her add-on on my Twitch channel page, or you can just go straight to curse.com, look through the WildStar add-ons, and just look for Katia Builder Toolkit. She does have a demo video linked in case you couldn't really follow along with my demo, where she explains all of the features, including the average one that I could not get the hang of. But definitely give that a try, and of course, if you have any suggestions or questions about her add-on, she would be happy to hear from you. Just leave some comments on her feedback page there on the curse.com site. I assume you have to be registered with that site to leave comments, but I'm not positive. If you don't want to contact her through there, you could probably get a hold of her through the official forums. She's got a post, I think it's either in the housing forum or the add-on section, or both. And just message her through there if you don't want to register with another site. Because I do know some people that don't like doing that all the time, and that would be an alternate way of getting a hold of her. And then if nothing else, thank her for the add-on if you find it useful. In the future, if there are any other add-ons that I find that are handy and would probably be useful for someone in the housing, I will definitely, again, do a little mini demo of it. At the moment, I think hers is probably the only readily available and most praised at the moment. I know there's a couple of others, but I don't think they're getting the good reviews. So I don't really want to promote something that maybe really isn't all that helpful or anything. So yeah. Anyway, I think for the third or fourth time, that is all for today. I will be back tomorrow with some other kind of little project. Maybe we will just build something for the heck of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll just do some random tours of some places that maybe don't quite have a whole lot of stuff going on, but maybe they have like one thing that would be worthwhile to look at. Maybe we'll just revisit some other places that we've already toured and just kind of check out and see if there's anything new that they've added. I don't know. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have fun. Good luck with your own projects. Of course, I will be checking out Samson's probably later today. If I don't forget, Samson, give me a poke if I do. And hopefully we'll be able to tour Samson's moon base next week when we do another set of exiles. Wednesday this week will be Dominion's turn, so we'll be going to the dark side and playing around on my hamster. And And then as well, next week we'll probably do a quick tour of the CBDC entries for this month, and getting ready to start on a new project for that, at least. In the meantime, have fun, do lots of building. Be welcome to share your projects with us, either here or in the forums. Post a video, some screenshots, anything will do. If you've got a house that you would like to see me tour, whether it's on Exiles or Dominion side, whether it's yours or someone else's, feel free to drop the name off. I'll give it a look and see if I find it worthy, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, I'll see you guys.